Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. Today we're going to be doing my review / breakdown of episode 7. So this is the Dreamer Supergirl crossover episode in The Flash's final season. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay guys, so I'm very excited to break down this episode because as you guys know, I'm a huge Supergirl fan, probably the biggest Supergirl fan out of all of the other Arrowverse YouTubers. So you guys know I'm excited to break down this episode. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So we begin the episode with Dreamer. And it was so great to see her on screen as the first shot. Like they just plunge us straight into it. And so we're inside this dream. You see Nicole Maines fully suited up in the Dreamer outfit, which I was very happy about because I didn't just want Nia to show up. I actually wanted to see Dreamer as Dreamer, and we get that in the opening scene. And so this is a great opening. It's a montage of Nia kind of losing it. Her mind is splintering. There's shots of spiders, graveyards, ravens, which are all really signifiers of death in some way or another. And so that's at the point when you get to see this mystery villain who appears. We've seen this mystery villain in the original trailer for The Flash Season 9. Many of us thought that could be Red Death when they were first appearing, but no, it's actually from episode 7, so they already filmed it by then. And so Nia says to the person, "You're not going to stop me when I'm this close." And so then out of nowhere, Iris shows up and you're like, how is Iris connected to this? And Iris is apparently killed. So that is one of Dreamer's dreams that she's been dreaming. She's in a National City jitters when she wakes up. I thought that was a nice little twist. The fact that we're in National City, we're in a CC jitters, which is commonly associated with the Flash and Central City because that's where it was created. But we're back in the real world, and Dreamer has been trying to conquer and master her powers since the end of Supergirl. And so she quickly realizes she has to go to Central City to try and figure out what's going on because Iris is linked to it. And so then we go back to Central City. We have Barry, who is on a FaceTime call with Iris. Iris is in the office and they talk about Iris's pregnancy, but that's not before Allegra walks into the office saying, "Hey boss," which I still think is very annoying. Like, why wouldn't you just call her Iris? Anyway, she brings in the article "Nightmare Under Red Skies." Now that is a title that we are familiar with, and they even flash back to it because it was the article that she's supposed to win the Pulitzer for. It's an article about Red Death, and this basically propels this whole episode because it kind of digs into the worries and anxieties that Iris has. But also in the episode we have the Keone and Mark storyline, and at first when we first see Keone in the episode, she's able to use her ice powers just like Frost, but you question that. And so then suddenly out of nowhere, Mark rips off his shirt and he's imagining this, he's dreaming them making out, and oh my god, like at first it seemed very real, but then when it went like that, I was like, oh my god, no way are they actually doing this. And so it turns out he was actually dreaming. It was a funny scene to start the episode, and I think it was probably the best scene between them in this episode. But over at CC System Media, Iris is still at the office and Nia shows up. I don't know how much time has passed since she left National City. We've never really got like a roadmap of exactly where they are. However, she mentions the fact that they met recently. So after Ryan mentioned in the finale of the Red Death episodes that she goes on brunches with Nia, Kara, Alex and everyone, it seems Iris has been invited by Ryan to attend these brunches, and so she's met up with Kara recently as well as Alex and Ryan, which is just so nice. I love the Easter eggs that they drop. I'll take what I can get as a Supergirl fan. And so Iris is apparently Nia's career role model in terms of what she's been doing recently, the fact that she built her own company. Yes, you might think that maybe Cat Grant would be her idol, but I think someone like Iris makes sense because maybe this is more like what Nia is trying to do. And so Nia reveals that she's been going into the dream realm recently in order to harness her powers and try and power up herself. And so she thinks by going in there, she's going to be able to take control of her powers and become even more powerful as the Dreamer. But it turns out there is something else going on, and it's a bit more complicated, and that's when the figure appears again. You have these crazy blue eyes in this kind of blue cape, and the CGI is amazing. This ominous figure really is ominous, and it really got to me. Like, at times I was like, oh my god, like, what's going on? But Nia's mind is tapped into by this person as Iris and Nia are wiped by a surge of energy. And so they're put into a kind of dream state, as you could call it. And so they go into Iris's dream, it turns out, and they are both cops. Iris is the captain of CCPD, and Nia is a regular cop. I thought it was like a nice little alternate reality dream situation where it's nice to see Iris in a different role and also Nia. And so they're trapped here for the time being. They need to find a door out, as Nia says. And there's even reference to the Snart siblings being taken down by Iris, which is just like another Easter egg of, you know, characters we've seen before. They always like to sneak those in when it's an episode like this, where it's not necessarily in our reality. And so it seems maybe they are some sort of dream killer, the figure that's appearing. But that is questionable because of what happens later in the episode, and we'll get to that when we get to that. But let's continue with this, guys, and obviously we have quite a lot more to go through. There is a lot of stuff that goes down in this episode, and so what goes down next is Barry finds Iris and Nia in real life. So we're finally back to reality. But while Barry finds them incapacitated in CC Citizen Media and tries to take them back to Star Labs, Iris and Nia go through that door in CCPD, and it's like this kind of glowing Doctor Who like door, which leads them to another dream. And this is another one of Iris's dreams because they're at CC Jitters and they are baristas now. So it's just like Iris back in season 1. So I guess this is quite nostalgic for Iris. It seems that she actually kind of likes this situation, as not only they are working there, but Barry's working there as a barista. He is really bad, and I thought it was very funny. Plus Chester was there. But back in the real world, Team Flash discuss what to do, and so Barry wants to contact Kara and Brainy about how to actually get them out of this current state that they're in. But apparently Kara and Brainy are off-world. That is confirmed. I think that is a total cop-out, but I'm going to accept it. They always say that if they want to get another character, but they aren't available in terms of like the actor showing up. So yeah, off-world is just a kind of lazy excuse, but I guess it gives them a reason to be able to not be able to contact them because they don't have the technology to do that. So there you go. Supergirl and Brainiac 5 are on another planet, even though in Supergirl they didn't really go off-world that much. That's just like a tiny nitpick, but to be honest, I'm just glad to see that they are referencing Kara, Brainy, Alex and everyone. So as a Supergirl fan, I like it, but again, I would like to see her in the show at least one more time. And so Barry wants to contact them for help because they might know what's going on, but that's just not going to happen. And as this happens, Nia and Iris get really hot, their hearts start racing, and it turns out they've been transported to another location, and it's the location that Dreamer originally dreamed of. And so then Dreamer realizes that they're in some sort of like angry sleep, which they are showing symptoms of, the hot and the heart racing. And so basically that means that they're on a timer. If they're in this stream too long, their bodies are not going to hold out. But as we are back where we started, with Iris about to supposedly die in this dream world, their dreams become not separate anymore, but actually joint. And it turns out they're not a dream, but a nightmare. And so this is a big twist in the episode. And it's not one of their dreams, but it's combined. And so Nia confronts this mysterious figure that we've seen throughout the whole episode, and she's like, I am the dreamer and I should have control in my own realm. But this is actually not before the figure can do anything apart from send a surge of energy that forces them into a different dream, which obviously makes them question, what does this person want? Why is this woman going after them? But they're not trying to necessarily kill them. They want them in the dream and in these different realities, these different situations. And it's clearly something greater going on. And so you start to think, maybe this isn't a dream killer. Maybe it's someone different who is kind of guiding them. Could it be the Spectre? Well, that's a question to be debated, but it's answered in just a minute, and we'll get to that in a minute. So Iris gets the Pulitzer. This is the new dream that they're in, and it turns out this is the main cause of what's been going on. And so Iris is mocked by some of her colleagues, including Allegra. She's basically been worried about the fact that she's known about this prize that has been coming for a long time, and the fact that maybe she hasn't earned it. So this is just some of her anxieties that she's been going through. And so Nia gives a very good pep talk to Iris, and I thought that was a highlight of the episode. And just overall, I love the relationship between Nia and Iris. I think it actually really works. And I think overall this episode is just actually really solid for an interlude episode, and there is some great character development for Iris, but also for Nia. Like, this advances Nia's powers, and so the next time we see Nia, whether it's in the comics or in the Arrowverse on TV, she's going to be more powerful than ever because she's got a new way of seeing things, is how I put it, before I spoil what happens at the end of the episode. But that's not before we get this really weird scene, probably my least favorite scene of the episode, which is Chilblain and Keone in the bar. Obviously, Chilblain has been trying to make Keone do stuff that Frost used to do again, and it feels like a repetitive cycle that we've seen in the last few episodes as Mark tries to grapple with everything that's going on in his life to do with the fact that he's lost Frost and Keone is right there in front of him. And so for some reason the whole bar interacts with them as they talk aloud. It was just a really weird scene. I didn't really like the way that it was edited and put together. It just felt very kind of cheesy, and it didn't fit with the rest of the episode. But going back to the good stuff, turns out they figure it's all about control. Well, Nia figures specifically, as Iris's original message back in Nia's original dream at the start of the episode was apparently all about Nia giving up control, and the fact that Nia has to go through this door full of cobwebs, which is related to her mother's death, in order to figure out who this person is that has been guiding them this whole time, or has been potentially leading them to their death. And so back to the start once again as Nia goes through this door, and so she's fully suited up as Dreamer once again, which is great to see. And so she meets this hooded figure, and the figure takes off their hood, and at this point I was like, oh my god, who is it? Like, I actually got shivers as this was revealed, and it turns out it's the OG, the original Dreamer, who before her mum and before everyone else's mums, she was the original Nautorian to have dream powers, and they've obviously passed it on throughout generations of different women within the Nautorian families. And so this was the original person, and so you see her on the screen right here. She was an awesome reveal, and so she's going to be teaching Nia how to use her powers. And so the whole reason for this episode and the whole reason for them guiding Nia to this path was actually to become more powerful, even though she had to relinquish some control. So I think this is great character development for Nia. And so as Nia achieves this, they're able to get out of the dream world. We see Team Flash, who get to talk with Nia after they've broken out of their dream state. And so as Iris wakes up, she hugs Barry, and you know, everything's good. The whole episode, Barry has been extremely worried about what's going on with Iris, especially because Iris is pregnant. And so that's just kind of like the reality side of things, as we've been cutting back and forth between Nia and Iris's scenes in the dream world and the real world. And so this all ties up with the final scene of Nia with Team Flash inside Star Labs, as they all talk with Barry, Iris, and everyone else. And basically they just needed to adjust their perspectives, and so now they've got the right perspectives. Even the original Dreamer is in the room. Only Nia can see her, but Cecile can actually sense her, just like she sensed her earlier in the episode. And I'm not sure how I feel about that reveal. I thought it was a bit kind of on the nose. Like, we didn't need to know that, because the next scene after it literally revealed the original Dreamer and the fact that she's here to help, and she is this kind of guardian angel for Nia. And so I like the fact that Cecile is the only one apart from Nia able to kind of sense her presence, but having Cecile spell it out earlier in the episode, I wasn't so sure about that. But that's just kind of like a nitpick on my behalf. And so Nia leaves Central City and heads back to National City after figuring out what she has to do. And so from now on, she's going to be training with the original Dreamer. And so yeah, like I said, this was great. I love seeing Nia in this episode. The Colemanes killed it as Dreamer once again. It was so nice to see her post Supergirl for the very first time, and I hope to see her again. Maybe it's Superman Lois, maybe it's something else in the future. I would love to see like a brunch special after the Arrowverse has ended with like Kara, Alex, Nia, Ryan, and everyone. Because you remember they used to do those superhero fight club bits that they would release online. I wish we got one of those with the brunch, because they've talked about this brunch before, and obviously Iris is going to go to that brunch in the next month. I reckon we will get a couple more references towards it, because that's just a thing that they've established this season. The fact that some of the girls go out and hang out together despite being in different cities, which I think is really nice. I wish everyone else did that kind of more often in the past, but it is what it is, and I'm glad that it's happening now. And so they're going to meet up again, but Nia leaves for National City, and so we're left with our Team Flash characters. And so just after the Flash logo hits the screen, we have the final scene, which is a little bit disappointing if I'm honest. It wasn't really any kind of big final scene. It was just Mark who shows up at the West Allen household as the whole of Team Flash is having a dinner together since Iris has been back. But Mark interrupts it as he shows up to talk to Keone, and he's decided that he's going to be leaving for a bit. This forces Keone to actually feel kind of sad, and everything freezes in the room, which just goes to show she could use ice powers if she kind of tapped into those emotions. And it seems these different emotions let her use different powers. So being sad, it's able to freeze. And we've seen snow before too in terms of different circumstances. So I really wonder when they're going to actually go into the powers and how they exactly work. But Mark is leaving for now, probably just for like 1 or 2 episodes max, because the actor is actually a series regular in the final season. So we will be seeing more of Mark. Don't think that he's gone, even though they've set him up to actually go off on his own journey for a little bit. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Overall, I would give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. It was really solid, one of the best episodes of The Flash this season. Definitely a top tier interlude episode, especially after the last episode, which was really bad. This was a nice change of pace, and obviously it was very nostalgic for us Supergirl fans. So for now, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any daily uploads, because we are uploading daily still. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. And so I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.